Hello, everybody. I'm here with my good friend, Miss Katherine KO, and she is an award-winning top broker with a proven track record of exceptional results in real estate sales, international speaker, trainer, coach, and I'm just super excited to have her here to ask her some tough questions to help realtors. Katherine, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is going to be fun, especially for newer agents. And I think even existing agents who may not have actually done any of this because they didn't have the mentorship when they first got into real estate.
Absolutely. And what you're referring to is for those, we are going to talk about being a new agent from employee to independent contractor, how to set up your new real estate business. So for the first question, Katherine, for someone who's new and never had a job that isn't full-time employment, where should they start?
Okay. So I know this is going to sound random to most people, but you literally have to start with your mindset that you are no longer going to get a salary at the end of the month. You now have this beautiful thing called drive, motivation, and you're going to have to go out there and hunt for your dinner. And it sounds scary and it feels scary at the beginning. Like I remember that feeling of, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm not going to have a salary coming in at the end of the month, but it's okay, because what you're going to notice is that, first of all, step one is to have a safety fund before you even get into real estate. So you're thinking of getting your real estate license, or you just got your real estate license. You need to make sure before you cut those ties of that full-time job that you have a safety fund of 3 to 6 months of your expenses. And I think it's really important. And Rick, you probably agree with this, like, be very honest with what those expenses are, because the problem is that if you don't have your expenses and your finances under control, you are adding a new level of stress to yourself that you don't need when you're starting a new career. So knowing that you have that safety cushion will help you to be more motivated, because you're going to have the stress off of you. And now you can go forward with a clear mind thinking, okay, now what do I need to do to start creating this real estate business of mine? So for me, it's the mindset, and the strategy is, how do we get the mindset under control? We have a safety comfort blanket of 3 to 6 months of income saved, ready to go for your expenses at home and your startup business.
Great advice.
Number 2 is your motivation. And because I have been teaching realtors for so many years, and also having owned my own brokerage, motivation is not something you will wake up with every single day. You actually have to create it. And the way that you do that is you are going to have 5 non-negotiables that you're going to do every single day. And what happens is it's going to be like brushing your teeth. It's going to be like if you drink coffee or eat breakfast, it's just going to become a habit. And what I always teach agents right when they start is you're going to have those 5 negotiables visible in front of you somewhere, whether it's on a paper on your desk every day, whether it's on a whiteboard on your wall. I suggest the whiteboard, because when you're looking at something every day, it will keep you on track. Not so much just on a reminder on your phone, because we'll get distracted with something else. You need to see it every day. So those 5 negotiables, non-negotiables, which we can talk about later on, and treat prospecting like brushing your teeth. If you want to have a healthy business, you're going to prospect every day. You want to have healthy teeth and healthy gums, you're going to brush your teeth every day. So the 2 are synonymous. There is no business if you don't prospect every day.
Well, one of the things I talk about when it comes to prospecting, and I hate to interrupt, I just had to jump in because I love talking about prospecting.
Yes.
One of my coaches asked me a long time ago, he's like, how many hours a week do you work? I'm like, I don't know, 60, 80. Let's say 40, just for around numbers. He's like, all right, so how many hours a day do you prospect? And I was like, 1 hour. He's like, all right, so you prospect 5 hours a week and you work 40. So almost like that's less than 20% of your time prospecting. So how do you expect to build a sustainable business if less than 20% of your time is spent on prospecting? And that blew my mind.
And the thing is that we actually have to have it in the calendar. It is an appointment in your day, right? It's like, you know, you have made a doctor's appointment or you have any other type of appointment in your life. Prospecting becomes an appointment in your day. And it's best to schedule it when you are alive and your energy is high and you can talk to people where you get them excited as well. So most people, that should be your morning window, whatever time that happens to be, but it needs to be time blocked in there. And I know with newer agents that I have coached and who I've had under me at my brokerage, what I like to do was, you're going to do a 1 hour time block of prospecting, then go ahead and take another hour to do, you know, other things that you're doing to set up your business. Maybe you're going to do a couple social media posts, but prospecting is first, the first time block of the day. The second time block is something else: emails, phone calls, social media. You have a hard stop after an hour of that. And then you go back to prospecting 1 more hour in the morning. And this is how I have always taught agents, is when you time block that day, you can actually look back at the end of your day and say, wow, this is what I got done. Now you're going to have results that you can see as a result of your work. But Rick, you know, when you said, oh, you know, I work 60 to 80 hours, that's such a vague term. Like, what were you doing in those 68 hours? Is it documented anywhere? Right? What were those tasks that you were actually working on for 60 to 80 hours? Because what we find is that we say we work that long, but really we don't. I mean, you know, some agents will work 2 hours a day, but they think they were working all day because they just made it stretch out for the whole time. So that's really important. I'd like to go to a topic, though, that I think is very important for newer agents and possibly current agents who haven't done this, and essential record keeping. So when we talk about structuring our business, record keeping is really important from day one when you get into a business as an independent contractor. So one of the first systems or apps or you know, programs that you should be getting would be something like Intuit, which is it's record keeping. It's for tax purposes. It's to track your expenses. So it's called Intuit Online, and it's what I use. I've used it for, I don't know, I think 15 years. But what you need to learn to do is to track your expenses, because someone's going to come looking to see how much you were able to charge on your taxes, how many expenses you've had that were legitimate, were not legitimate. You have to learn all of these things as well. But saving receipts. This is a mistake I find that many newer agents don't realize. You are now running a business. So you now have a responsibility to be paying sales tax. You have a responsibility to be paying your income taxes, other taxes as well. So depending on how you have structured your business, I'm going to leave that to you to discuss with a lawyer, because are you going to be doing it as a sole proprietor, as an LLC? You need to figure that out. However, no matter which way you decide to structure your business, you have to keep your records clean and tidy and up to date all the time. So when you go and you have a business expense, you get an invoice from your CRM every month, you're going to save that. You need to go and buy a package of pens. You need to save that receipt. Everything you do, you must save. And it's a really big error that newer agents make, because no one ever told them, oh, well, I didn't realize that there was that part of it as well, because you're just thinking about the real estate license, but you need to make sure everything is ordered. Because if you can do all this within your first 30 to 60 days when you're licensed, then you don't have to worry about it later on. That too will become a habit. when you're running your business.
Absolutely.
So yes.
The next question I have is, so you make a move, and like I know for me, I did the same thing. I made a move. I'm a lender. I made a move from another company, and it's important to have like an advisory board of mentors for you.
Yes.
So who would you recommend that a brand new realtor bring on to their personal advisory board to mentor them?
Okay. So you need licensed mentorship first. And what I mean by that is someone who knows all of the rules and compliance of real estate. This will likely be a manager. It will be the broker of record. It will be someone in the brokerage you have joined who knows all of the rules and regulations and compliance. This person needs to be one of your mentors. Or they may allocate a mentor to you who is highly competent and who has a lot of experience under their belt. Maybe it's a senior agent in the office, but whatever that looks like, that person you need to have on board with you, because there will be times, even though you've taken your real estate course, I'll tell you, your very first deal that you do, and even your 5th deal and your 10th deal, there will always be something new that comes up. You're not going to be sure how to approach it, or you're not going to be sure how to speak to the client about the issue. And that person, that is where all of their experience is going to come in, and they're going to help walk you through that situation. So that one person is highly important. Having peer support. Have some colleagues in the office that you're able to discuss real estate role play. You know, role-playing conversations, especially for challenging markets, negotiation, going on a listing appointment. You know, the worst place for you to practice is at the table when you are trying to get a listing. That is not where we practice.
It's so crazy to me that more people don't role play and practice their scripts. Like,
well, the problem, you know, when you decide to do that, because we've all done it. I mean, you know, I didn't really have much help when I first got into real estate 17 years ago. Back then it was just go into the office, open the phone book and start calling people. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to say? But what we do now is we talk about, okay, well, if they ask you this question, then here would be a really good answer. When I teach agents about scripts and about objection handling, I tell them that when you walk into a listing appointment or a buyer appointment now, because buyer representation is also a big appointment, you need to have your arsenal of tools. And that arsenal of tools had better be past listings of that neighborhood where you're at. It should be mortgage rates. It should be other properties that have sold in the last year or two on the street. And, you know, that's another course to take as to how to do listing appointments. But there's a reason that you do all of these things. It's preparation. You need to be prepared to go and get a listing that you're going to be paid a lot of money if you sell it. So you owe the respect to the client that you've done your work. And that requires you to do all the practicing behind the scenes. And so to me, having that camaraderie in your office with a few key agents, not all of them, but maybe 2, 3, or 4, that is what will also help drive your motivation, right? And you can make challenges with each other. Partnerships with vendors and people who will help you in the transaction. And I am going to list them now. So the first most important person is the mortgage agent or broker. The reason being is because without them, there is no money for that client to buy the house. And you also want to make sure that you are aligning yourself with the right people. And what do I mean by the right people? They're people that you can reach out to. If you have a question about kinds of mortgages, types of mortgages, what is an A client? What is a B client? What does that look like? What is additional financing, right? All of these things are very important for you to know before you even start talking to buyers and sellers. You know, sometimes you'll walk into a listing appointment and the sellers aren't even sure how much money they have left owing on their mortgage, but yet they want to move forward. And so I actually have to have a finance question, conversation with the sellers saying, okay, well, what are your plans? Where are you going? Have you spoken to your lender to make sure that you too are secure in your financing before you move forward? So mortgage person, they're there for you. They're there to support you. So you need to rely on someone, one or two people who you're able to reach out to and get help when you need it from them. And they're there to support you. They're wonderful. I mean, Rick right here is the epitome of a person who gives his knowledge and experience and is not looking for something when you ask him a question. This is what I love about him. I've known Rick for many, many years now. I think 10 years, 11 years. And all I've ever seen you do is give your knowledge, give your help. So if you are a newer agent, or if you're an agent who's been doing real estate now for 1 to 3 years and you haven't found that network that you need to start talking to people, looking for them, asking around. Who do you really like working with? Who has helped you out of a bind? Imagine you're in a deal and something falls through, the financing falls through. You need someone you can call, and they are going to be there for you. So that's really important. You also need to have your title reps. If they are not associated with the mortgage broker or with the brokerage, you need to go and find those people as well. Having a real estate lawyer. And I know that there are many states, because I know this will be watched over many different places, areas, even perhaps countries, Canada, US. It's important for you to know a real estate lawyer or two, because depending on what the situation is, you may require one or your clients may require one. And having the network of people that you can refer is really important for your transactions and your relationships with your clients.
All right, Katherine. So this individual just became a realtor. Now, how do they get business? What is your advice for someone that just made the switch?
Yeah. And this is really the question on top of everyone's minds. And it's usually the question I get before an agent even becomes licensed. Where am I going to get the business? So my suggestion, and this is after 17 years of doing this, is as soon as you're licensed, you should create a PDF, some kind of a sheet that has 100 boxes on it. And you need to fill it with every person you know, and you will fill 100. And usually I get the idea, I get the facial expression like, what, 100? I said, you absolutely know 100 people. And I'll tell you why. First, you're going to start, I want you to think of like you're playing darts. Your bullseye is your immediate family. Then you're going to go to the next circle, which are your friends. Then you're going to go to the next circle and you're going to go to relatives. Then you're going to go to the next circle, and those are going to be acquaintances, people you knew in university, in high school, primary school. I'm sure you have them on Facebook. Many people have 1,000 or so followers on Facebook. You're going to find 10% of those, and you're going to put them onto this list. They might be hairdressers, doctors, lawyers. I want you to think about it like this. I don't want you to be worried about what their profession is. And if you feel uncomfortable, I want you to ask yourself, who on planet Earth needs to buy a house? And the answer is everyone. Someone will need to buy, someone will need to sell, and someone will need to rent. All you have to do is to assemble 100 names of anyone you've been in contact with, and you're going to start emailing. If you don't have an email, you're going to phone. If you don't have a phone number, you're going to drop by and you're going to say hello and you're going to give them a card. Maybe you can make a brochure for yourself of your services, where you help people, what you do. And you're going to do that your first month of real estate. because the first thing you need to do is let everyone know what you do. Please do not be a secret agent. We are not here for a 007 secret agent. We want everyone to know who you are. So once you have completed that 100 list, now you're going to go and let everybody know on social media. But please remember to be professional, right? If you want to be seen as professional, you need to act professional, which means really think about what you're putting out there, because social media is like being on a stage speaking to 5,000 people. So what is it that you want them to know about you as a brand new agent? The areas you're helping, that you're helping cover, the people who you're helping, and how it is that you plan on servicing people. Is it with respect? Is it with honesty? Is it with transparency? Ask yourself, what are my values? And let the world know what those are. And you're going to start seeing that people will start responding to you. They will congratulate you. Maybe they'll ask you about the real estate market, but maybe that question should be in your reach out. Would you like me to keep you updated on the market in your neighborhood?
That's great.
Perfect question to start off your introduction to people. I'm going to be your guide. I'm going to be your go-to for real estate. That's what your goal is.
Well, this has all been incredible information, incredible content. I think we put a lot of information out there to help many new in real estate.
For sure.
For those that are watching this that might have some more questions for you, what is the best way for them to reach out?
Definitely through my website, Katherine Loucaidou. So you'll see my name here on the screen, KatherineLoucaidouCoaching.com. And what you'll find there, you will actually find even videos that I've done. You'll find even some free courses that I've created. And I actually have a real estate course for brand new agents on there as well. So, good luck. You are going to love this industry. You're going to love this job. Just make sure that you get your schedule under control and you get that prospecting in every single day, and you'll do just fine.
Well, thank you again so much for your time, Katherine. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. So I'm going to end the recording.